from HotGhostWriter. Just bringing you a quick video, an update, hottest updates of what's actually going on in the publishing business, now with everything that's happening in the economy. I think it's fundamental for our clients and those that are not yet working with us to understand of what's actually going on in the publishing space, not just self-publishing, but how is the book market performing as a whole. So we've picked out a lot of great information, facts and figures from the most credible sources, and just eager to share this with you. So like I said, it's Delphine Alvaro here, founder and acting CEO of HotGhostWriter.com. We also have a special contribution from Jacob Rothenberg, which many are familiar with. He's a six-figure publisher, business mentor, also runs a romance program, one of the top romance self-publishing programs in the space right now. So he's kind of answered some of the most, the questions that are in the air, let's say. So let's dive right in. I want to breeze through this. The facts, the information is clear, it's to the point, not a lot of explaining is necessary, but let's start. So first thing, what are we going to be touching on? So first of all, how has pandemic altered the sales of books? Of course, it's had an impact. So we're going to be looking at how that's, it's actually affected self-publishing, book publishing, book sales as a whole. Then fiction versus nonfiction. What's performing well? What has gone down? What is up? This is essential for you to understand why Amazon is the platform. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about Amazon, and speculating a little bit as well. So what we expect the market to do, that's another thing we'll be touching on, what we believe this situation is, how it's going to essentially impact publishing, not only now, also in the future. And we're actually going to be taking a look back in a similar, a few years ago, where there was a similar situation and how book sales were affected then. History is always a great tell of what's to come. So also what you should be focusing on if you're a self-publisher thinking to self-publish, if you're already running, a solid business, we're going to be talking about that as well. And then how we can help you. So how can HotGhostWriter help you take advantage of, what's going on? Majority of the people listening to this call are either, self-publishers, business people, or wanting to get into business, work for themselves. But mostly everyone is familiar with the fact that during economic downturns, it literally creates so much opportunity. And, we have, a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, a lot of ideas that are expanded and taken into the market during times like these. So in short, there's a lot of opportunity, and we're going to be discussing how we can help you. So firstly, how has the pandemic altered sales? So this is recent, this screenshot you're seeing here, this is from a few days ago. The pandemic is changing book buying patterns. Yes, it has. So, but the good thing is, as we can see here, to everyone's surprise, book sales have actually held up pretty well. Across the entire market. We've been talking as well to a lot of self-publishers, a lot of our clients. We have multiple clients that are running multi-six-figure a year businesses, either others, six figures, others a nice business model. They're expanding, they're taking their business to that next level, and having discussions with them as well. Just someone that's really close to us, who we can interact with. People have been seeing certain markets go up, others, slowing down a little bit. Something that people have been seeing go down is print sales, which we'll touch on in a second, for the simple fact that, there are some restrictions on printing, on delivery, these sorts of things. But as a whole, publishing has been progressing through the pandemic, which is phenomenal, and it makes sense. People are at home, they want to be entertained, they want to learn, and they end up purchasing books. Of course, like we said, print has taken a slight dip, but ebook sales and audiobook sales in particular have been crushing it. And as I said, looking back at another massive economic downturn, and we're referring to 2009, there was actually a 6% rise in book sales over, between 2009 to 2013. So in the past, there has actually been, the market has actually done better. And also during this time period, 2009, 2013, was when ebooks were actually introduced. So that's what contributed to that rise. Right now, ebooks are huge. Audiobooks are growing, average of 25 year to year. So it's massive opportunity right now. And we have here since 2013. So after the last recession, post 2013, the sales have been pretty steady across, multiple markets, excluding audiobooks, which has been seeing double-digit growth year after year. But we are actually right now, for the first time post 2013, we're seeing massive spikes. So, and again, these are all facts and figures. You'll see the sources at the end of this quick presentation. So some examples where there's been huge changes in purchasing patterns are categories such outdoor skills, where, demand has shot up 74% in print format, which is pretty interesting. So even though print has taken a slight dip, for some reason, outdoor skills is a niche that's just off the roof. I guess, people are missing the outdoors. They're preparing for when the lockdown is over so they can really enjoy the outdoors, which is, awesome. So this is a category to take a look at. Other categories as well that have shot up are medical history. I was looking at the numbers, in particular, books on previous pandemics, flus, all these sorts of things, which is totally understandable. This niche has seen a 71% increase. Games and activities, pay attention to that one. Games and activities, they've been huge as well. People are, looking to be entertained, spend, time doing something, enjoying themselves. So that's gone up. And then as well on the fiction side, we have a 10% increase. So we'll be touching a little bit more into the niches. But essentially, as we have here on the right-hand side, it allows us to speculate a little bit on the mindset of buyers. On the medical history side, we understand, of course, people are looking to be informed. On the games and activities, people are looking to be entertained themselves, their kids, keep themselves busy. So it's interesting and it's exciting to kind of speculate where things are going to go, essentially. And we've been looking at some numbers, and also how buying habits will alter after all of this. But yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff. So these are some niches to really pay attention to. And the reason why it's so important to have this information is you know what people are thinking in a certain sense, where you should be focusing a lot of your investment and really maximizing that return on, all the new books and assets you put out. So next thing, fiction versus nonfiction. So as we say here, it's interesting to note the differences between both genres. I think, just talking to people will generally assume that fiction will actually go up the most because, people want to be entertained. They want to consume fiction, which fiction has been growing, of course, but the biggest growth we've seen is actually more leaning onto the nonfiction space. And here, we have this little screenshot here, which is from NPB, BookScan, and you can see here some of the top performing categories and niches in both fiction and nonfiction, looking at adult and juvenile categories. So for adults, the one that's seen the biggest growth in the first quarter of this year are graphic novels. Worst category for adult fiction has been suspense or thrillers. And for juveniles in fiction, the biggest spike has been in science fiction, your fantasy pieces, which has seen almost a 10% rise. And on the worst categories, concepts, for nonfiction, crafts, hobbies, antiques, games, that shot up 20%. If we look just at, if we compare all these, all the individual nonfiction. So, of course, nonfiction as a whole has gone up. So a lot of categories. But if we look at the individuals that have had the biggest spike in the first quarter, in the entire first quarter, we see a 20.3% rise in demand. And over on nonfiction, education, reference, and language, with almost a 70% increase in demand, which is huge, absolutely insane. So looking a little bit more deeply into these numbers, nonfiction is booming. Particularly as we saw here in juvenile nonfiction. So essentially what's happening is kids are at home, parents still want them to learn, they want them to be entertained, not be on video games all day, not be on the computer all day. So they're actually purchasing a lot of educational and what publishing houses call school readiness, the school readiness niche. So you have your coloring and sticker books, and particularly the primary and middle school math and science niches. So if you're looking to kind of put together, you go into the technical nonfiction space with math and science, that's seen a rise of 83%. If we look at just that space over the last, I think it's over the last month, so from March 1st up in April 4th, yes, as we have here. So that's the same as the first figures we looked at. So that's seen an increase in 83%, which is ridiculous. And then language arts has increased 98%, which is nuts. It's nonfiction is really, really blowing up. So these are niches you should be paying close attention to. Also, understand what's going on, for example, in the US, in the UK, with the lockdown, as these will kind of dictate how these categories continue to grow or, go back to their previous performance. So understand what's going on in the world so you can better understand where, purchasing, buying, behavior will go, But right now, these are the topics that are performing the best in the nonfiction space. For fiction, also, your, as we touched on, juvenile fiction rose quite a bit, especially science and fantasy, with a 10% increase. Overall, juvenile fiction saw a 2% bump, and audio, as we have here at the bottom, is steadily crushing it. So now we have a contribution here from Jacob Rothenberg. So the question was, Jacob, how do you see the publishing business right now? And he answered, there's never been a better time to diversify your income streams and create more personal income for yourself. With regards to the self-publishing industry in 2020, it's become less of a hobbyist opportunity and more of an actual business that needs to be operated and managed. This is absolutely, this is spot on. We're seeing it even with the clients that we work with at HotGhostWriter.com. We're working, like I said, with some pretty big publishers, and the way they run their operations, it's a real business. It's also the reason why Hot Ghostwriter has been, the go-to ghostwriting service. We're the most premium, and we're proud of it, and it's because of the way we operate, the way we do things. We look at it as a business. It's not just creating these quick, low-quality books and flinging them onto Amazon. It's actually, operating it like a proper business, as Jacob touched on, and that's what we aim to facilitate with the production. As I'll actually be showing you a little peek into the process, but yeah, that's how we like to operate. So if you follow a good strategy for publishing, you know what works, how to kind of expand your business, and guys like Jacob Rothenberg should be your go-to to learn that, to acquire that knowledge. But yeah, if you have that understanding, you understand the structure, you then work with a company like us that makes the production process smooth and ensuring the quality. So then Jacob continues by saying, building a quality brand is paramount for success, and you want to utilize the best resources possible for creating your content. That's why I'm partnered with Hot Ghostwriter for having the best possible writing and audiobook narration services available for publishers. So great comment there from Jacob at the end as well. Then let's talk about Amazon. Now, Amazon, they're, with everything that's going on, they're in a better position than before in terms of their ability to now take more of the market. And most publishers, most self-publishers are utilizing this as their primary or only publishing platform. So this creates even more opportunity. So as we have here, something super exciting is how Amazon is in the perfect position with everything that's happening. So why Amazon? First thing is there's really no competition when it comes to online book sales. So right now it's all about online. Major publishers are trying to, maybe major bookstores, better said, are trying to, make better use of their online systems. Of course, many of them are seeing increases, but none of them have the infrastructure. None of them have the client base, the experience, the amount of books, the amount of registered credit cards as Amazon. So there's no competition. They're the biggest retailer when it comes to online and offline. Amazon is the place to be. So as a self-publisher, I know you're on the platform, so see this as a huge advantage and see this as something that's going to grow in the months to come. So, and then we have another comment from Jacob. So where does Jacob see the most opportunity in the nonfiction space? So he says, right now, the best opportunity is in creating a volume of books that's directed to one niche or genre. If someone needs a book related to learning how to play guitar, you can bet that the customer will also want books related to different genres of music to play the guitar with. If someone is looking to learn how the carnivore diet works, don't just provide the diet book itself, but also recipes, journal logs, and so forth. So it's really creating a brand. So it's something already the fiction publishers have down pretty well, but now as it's getting more exciting, more competitive, there's more customers, there's more opportunity, and you want to kind of maximize your return from your efforts, it really becomes essential to build a solid brand around your books and your pen name, right? So it's a great comment there from Jacob. And we continue on. Why Amazon again? So they're already the biggest online retailer, but also now, because of everything that's going on, their major competition, online and offline, particularly offline, in this case, have their doors closed. They have low stock, and their online infrastructure just doesn't compete. So we have here on the top left how print units have been just decreasing massively, in the major cities in the US. It's been huge dips, especially in the last few weeks, as you can see there. Philadelphia with double-digit declines, and same as New York City. Amazon can sell, physical books online as well. They're open. Of course, they've slowed things down with deliveries and things like that. But when this is all over, they'll be in the best position to bounce back. They have their own print-on-demand service. They don't have the same problems that a lot of traditional bookstores and book companies have. As you can see there on the top right as well, indie bookstores are fighting to survive the pandemic. A new movement may have the answer. So indie bookstores struggling. You see that at the bottom left, lack of stock. Online booksellers are seeing an increase, but no competition for Amazon at this point. And we can also continue. Like we said, they have their own print-on-demand service. So once we were out of it and they can kind of go back to their typical operations, they're going to be in a huge position to just bounce back and take more of the market. And it's also fundamental to realize how buying habits people have been forced to change their buying habits. So if you were buying from indie bookstores, you've now had, you still want to read, you're an avid reader, you're now having to shop on Amazon, even if you wanted to support your local publishing bookstore, right? And of course, we want small businesses to thrive and so on, but this is just for you to understand how the space is adjusting, right? So your indie bookstores are not going to be around anymore. People that were liked shopping in person have now been forced to shop online. They're now experiencing the convenience, the service that Amazon offers, and Amazon's going to crush it. So as we'll see in a second, this creates a lot of opportunity for you as a self-publisher. And finally, like we said, indie competitors are struggling and may never recover. So as we have here, this article from a few days ago, indies launch a GoFundMe campaign to survive coronavirus shutdown. So and then we have here's another another contribution from Jacob. So the question was, Jacob, what's your best advice now for publishers in general? And he says, take action and get started now with building up your roster of books. If you're staying at home due to the current global situation, there's no excuse to get going with your publishing business. If your funds are tied up, consider either writing some books yourself or hustle it out by doing food deliveries and paying for books that way. Absolutely. I concur. There's no excuse. I mean, this is a huge opportunity now to really position yourselves whilst some people are taking a step back, it's a great opportunity for you to position, your brands, your books in the market and get a return for your money instead of having it sitting there and depleted as the months go on, people losing their jobs. Publishing is now showing how of a great business model it is. No inventory, a global customer base. You can use ads to reach your clients and customers directly. No limit to how many projects you can get put out. You can build multiple brands, fairly easily. You can use those books to sell other products. And as we're seeing it, people are still seeing huge numbers, and we expect it to continue to grow. So Jacob then continues, before you know it, the holiday season of this year will be upon us, and you want to be properly positioned to make some epic sales when the demand for books will be at an all-time high. So absolutely, completely agree with Jacob on this here. So how should you tackle your business? So you've seen some great input there from Jacob. On our end, just looking at what's going on, this is how we perceive that client should be tackling and positioning themselves when it comes to publishing. So you should be scaling harder than ever and putting your money to work. Online is where you want to be, as shopping habits have been forcibly changed. I mean, whether it's HotGhostWriter or not, this is obvious. Online is where you want to be. Like we just discussed, it's a awesome business model. I literally cannot think of another business model right now that's so easy to get into, relatively low entry, but one can say low barrier to entry, but to be able to actually succeed, there is a barrier where you need to have high quality books, which is why HotGhostWriter provides the service that it does. You need to focus on building a brand and and focusing on a niche, as Jacob touched on. You need to run it like a business, as Jacob touched on as well. So that for people that just they don't really want to operate it like a business, it does raise the barrier. And people that want to produce low quality and so on and so forth. So for you that are really looking to succeed with publishing, you really want to push as much as possible now and take advantage of what's going on. People are distracted. This is your time to really take possession. Then our second idea when it comes to how you should tackle your business is diversify with audio. As it's also a digital format that is on the rise and is not prone to any delivery restrictions. Also Amazon with Audible is the largest audio platform. Like we touched on, double-digit growth year after year. So you definitely want to take advantage of it. It adds an additional format, allows you to, from that one asset, so you have one story or one nonfiction book, and you create another entire product that pretty much targets a different type of customer on Amazon just by having it narrated. And this is something we'll be touching on in a little bit more in a second. Also, print will bounce back with a vengeance, and Amazon will lead. So, don't think because there's been a slight dip that you should stop releasing paperback versions. Absolutely not. It costs very little to do so, and it's definitely going to come back full force, and you'll be there positioned ready to make those royalties. And as Jacob also said, I definitely also completely agree with this, and it's fundamental, is focusing on building a brand around your niches. So don't just chuck a bunch of random books up on Amazon. Think about your business. Think about, it's a product, right? It's a brand, essentially. A pen name is a brand. So approach it that way. Yeah, you'll have a lot more success. And finally, take action whilst others hesitate. So, really put your best foot forward and go in looking to, succeed with this awesome business model. Then how can we help you? So this is where we touch a little bit on audiobooks. So, of course, with everything that's going on, it requires creativity, and we definitely understand as well why some people may be a little bit hesitant. So we actually wanted to facilitate things for you as a publisher and incentivize you, but not only that, allow you to really stretch the funds which you're investing. And for this, we're including free audiobook narrating with all orders of 2 or more books. And this ends on the 30th, which is tomorrow. Today's the 29th, it's rather early, but tomorrow, the 30th, will be the last day of this offer. So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. You want to take full advantage of it. Publishing, we've just seen with the numbers, there's a load of opportunity. It's going to continue growing. Amazon is going to continue to dominate and excel. And as Jacob also touched on, you really want to be in a position to make a ton of money when, as things progress, and also once the holiday season arrives. And the earlier you prepare yourselves, the better. So this is why we're bringing this deal. It's going to allow you to literally spend what you would spend on a book with HotGhostWriter, but also have the audio version added for free. You may be wondering how we've done this. We've tweaked our process slightly, which has allowed us to lower the cost of production. And we've we've essentially managed to add the audio version. Of course, this is not something we can continue for very long. So it's been running now since the 23rd, so last week of April. So if you have some books in your pipeline, if you've been thinking about getting into publishing, or if you're thinking to expand a couple of your brands, we have some of the best writers in the space. So go over to HotGhostWriter.com and start your next projects. And just to kind of add a little bit more in regards to this, as you can see here, some of our clients' reviews when it comes to audio production. We have this client here, Jan, which we've worked on over 30 audiobooks with him. The production process is super simple. These are people that are running large publishing companies, and we really take the hassle away from them, allow them to focus on growing their business, nurturing their readers. And you can read a lot more reviews on Trustpilot.com. Just have a look at HotGhostWriter if you're not already familiar with the services we provide. Also, if you are excited, if you're pumped about this offer, do head to HotGhostWriter.com/pages/free audio. In that page, you'll be able to have a listen to some of the narrators we have on the team. We have amazing voice artists. They're really well prepared. You'll definitely have a voice that you like and that you believe fits well with your brand. So do head over to HotGhostWriter, and I'll actually show you the page, so HotGhostWriter.com/pages/free audio. Here, we just delve a little bit more into the deal. You can have a listen to some samples, audio samples, understand how to place your order, get started. And yeah, you can also apply the code free audio to get this deal. Of course, if you've been referred by Jacob Rothenberg himself, actually, do use the code JR free audio, please, just so we can ensure that we're aware that you've come through him. Finally, just last couple of things, I wanted to show you a little bit of how our process works. So I've just opened here a project. This is actually, we have a Spanish department, so these are actually some Spanish books we've been writing and narrating for our good friend Gerald Confianza, which is another 6-figure publisher. He's crushing it, both fiction, nonfiction, and now he's full force in the Spanish space. So I actually just wanted to give you a quick look at how our process works. So whenever you work with HotGhostWriter, we really like to make things simple for you and allow you to manage your business. So as you can see here, Gerald has a number of books we're working on. This allows him to quickly come in, see where everything is at. Directly from our platform, you'll have access to the book link itself, so you can actually track the progress of your book in real time. So this is a cloud link where you can see things take shape. On our platform, you can interact with the writers, with the editors, all within the platform. So if you need any changes, if you want to have a discussion, if you whatever, anything you wish to achieve, you can by interacting directly with the team. Of course, you also have your designated project manager there, ensuring that your project is a success. Once the writing is then done, you'll have the narration, which was the first task we had to look at. And here as well, you'll be able to interact with the artists working on your project. So in this case, the narrators, you can review the narration live as it's being recorded and uploaded to the folder. So you can have a look, make sure it sounds exactly how you want it. And yeah, we guarantee quality. We provide unlimited revisions, and our goal is simply to ensure that your business thrives and succeeds, that you put out the best content to the marketplace, as that's essential for longevity. So yeah, just wanted to give you a real quick look, glance of how our process differs from anything you'll find out there. And that's why, HotGhostWriter is the premium service. Finally, just give you a very quick look at how to place your order. There are some more detailed instructions in this page that I mentioned to you here. You can follow these steps, but just very quickly, I'll show you how our step-by-step ordering system works if you're not familiar with it. Simply, step by step, you'd start by picking your genre. So whether it's standard nonfiction, or if you want to go and put some books in the science and maths for middle schoolers, you can also choose technical nonfiction. You'd click next. You have the option to select, your word count. Click next. If you want, you can add our essential package, which is a very popular product. Includes the premium paperback formatting, full cover design, so that's front cover, paperback cover, audiobook cover, and then as well the HTML sales description that's going to ensure that your book offer really converts, and you can get more sales when people actually land on your product page. So if you want, you can select that. The process is also similar when it comes to cover design and all that good stuff. It's done also within the platform, so you can interact with the graphic designer. You can see the drafts, request adjustments, whatever you need. And then as well, the interior book designer will format your book for you. Just makes things super easy. Everything in one place. So that you can see where your business is at every moment. Then you can add the narration. If you want us to bundle, let's say you're ordering 4 books or 2 books, which is the minimum for the free narration, and you want us to bundle the books together in audio, you can select the audiobook bundle, which is $100 flat per bundle. So if you have 10 books, 5 books, doesn't matter, you just pay one fee. Once you've done that, click on next, add your title. Let's say if you're not sure, I'll just put not sure for now. Add any comments you may have, attach an outline if you have it. If you don't, we can take care of that for you for free, no charge for nonfiction outlines. Click on next, and then add and build another if you want to add your second, third books, or add and check out once you've done that. Finally, in the cart, you'll be able to verify everything. And then on the right, you'll have the option to insert your discount code, which will be either free audio if you're coming directly through HotGhostWriter, you're already a customer of ours, or if you've been referred by Jacob Rothenberg, you can use the code JR Free Audio. So finally, Jacob's comments on this campaign. He says, I've never heard of anyone offering free narration in exchange for having 2 books written by any writing company. I'm not even really sure how Hot Ghostwriter is profiting from such an awesome incentive, but that's not our problem. Take up this offer before it goes away and get your audiobooks done, along with having the best writing company in the business set you up for success by having high quality books created for you. So another awesome comment from Jacob. I haven't actually read these before I put them into the presentation, but yeah, thanks, Jacob, if you're watching this. We've worked with him for a while as well, and yeah, he actually comes to us for the writing, so he's in a position to be able to mention that. So really glad to see that. So yeah, thank you. Hope this has been impactful. Just wanted to come in and share some insights, some facts and figures. We got this from credible sources, so Publishers Weekly, The Guardian, Financial Times, Forbes. So, do your own research if you wish, but yeah, don't take too long, as this opportunity is huge, So if you do have some books in the pipeline, or you just want to take advantage of the opportunity, maybe you didn't even plan to produce some new books just yet, just go ahead. You don't have to have any specifics yet. If you place your order before the end of the day tomorrow, your offer will be reserved for you. So once you have those niches, those topics, you can discuss it with our team, and we'll create some killer books. So yeah, super excited. Let us know if you have any questions. If you do, you can reach out to us at support@hotghostwriter.com, or Facebook chat. Well, you have Facebook chat here on our website, or you can go to me/hotghostwriter.com to also interact with us via Facebook chat. We'd love to answer any questions you may have. So thank you very much. Wishing you a lot of success. Hope you're